Hello folks, it's that time of the week again for another tutorial from yours truly, Mark Alderson. I want to introduce you to something new in spreadsheets today, the if statement. This is it here. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 different examples of using this and then may get you to apply it to your CD collection spreadsheet, but we will see. Depends how long this video lasts for. This is the basis of an if statement. We use it the same way as all the other functions that we've used: min, max, average, sum, count, equals, then the function name, like so, and open a bracket. We then give it some data and a closing bracket at the end. The if function's a bit different from other functions you've used. Excuse me. The other functions that you've used have required just like one data set in here. This one requires three data sets: condition, whether that condition is true or whether that condition is false. 3 parts separated by 2 commas. Yep, that's how it knows it's finished with the condition, is when you enter the comma in, and that's how it knows it's finished with the true part. When you enter the second comma in, it knows you're into the false part. Right, I'll get onto that in a wee minute. This is a syntax version of it, just in plain English, like pseudocode if you've done any programming before. This is a working version of it, but I'll get to that in a second. Create this small table. Let me just quickly deconstruct it and I'll show you how easy it is to create this. And delete that and unmerge and center that. So basically I created this small table. I put borders on, usually all borders, and then thick outside border. My 2 favourites. Excuse me, I have a bit of a sore throat. So widget price, I'm going to put numbers in here that are going to be currency. So I'm going to pre-format that so that it is currency by clicking on the accounting number icon. Now anything I put in here will come in as currency. Yeah. Let me do it 2 numbers in a sequence. Highlight both of these to let it know it's a sequence that I want to continue, and use autofill, bottom right hand corner, thin black cross to the bottom. 100. Right, in here I want the computer to, oh sorry, and I forgot to merge and center my heading. The heading is just in cell B3, but if I highlight B3 and C3, merge and center, it centers it, and then I gave it a background color of anything you choose, I don't care. In the comment section here, I want the computer to make a little decision. I want it to tell me any price that's over £50 is too expensive. Now, I've put widget price in here. Widget just means anything. I'm just looking for data to explain how to use the function to you. So widget, it could be selling anything or buying anything. But I'm going to say, if the widget price is greater than £50, I'm going to say it's too expensive, this part here. And if it's less than £50, then the price is going to be okay. So the condition, the thing that I'm going to be testing for is this part. I'm going to be testing if the value in cell B5 is greater than 50. That's either going to be true or false. Is it greater than 50? True. Is it greater than 50? False. If it's true that it is greater than 50, I'm going to say it's too expensive. You note that I've got quotes in here. The too expensive is enclosed in quotes because it's what we call a string. We only use quotes if I'm outputting text, outputting a message to the user of the spreadsheet. If I was putting a calculation in there, like 10% of a value rather than 15% of a value, if it was true or false, then I would not use quotes. The quotes are only there because I'm outputting text to the screen. So in the comment, I would say the condition is this: is B5 greater than 50? So in this case, B5's got 10 in it. It's not greater than 50. So it would skip over the true part. Is it greater than 50? True. No, it's not greater than 50. So it's false. It goes to the false part, price okay. And it would enter price okay in here. Let me show you that. Equals if, open bracket, the same way we use all of our functions. And if you see here, it's looking for logical test. I'm an old programmer. The logical test used to be called condition. It's the same thing, just 2 different words for the same language, meaning the same thing. But if you notice, logical test is in bold So the if statement's waiting on the logical test. Now my logical test is this cell here, click on it, it enters B5 for me. Is it greater than 50? Right, that's me put my logical test in now. To get to the next part, I need to enter the comma. And watch what happens when I enter the comma. It will jump to value if true. So when I put the comma in, it now knows I'm finished with a logical test or condition. And it's now looking for what happens if that's true. If it's greater than 50, what is the true value? Well, the true value is, in quotes, I want to say too expensive. Close bracket, oops, not close bracket, daydreaming. So I've got my logical test in. Is this cell here, B5, greater than 50, comma, onto my value if true. If it's true, which it is greater than 50, I want it to say too expensive, in quotes, because I'm outputting text. I'm now finished with my value if true. When I put a comma in, the bold jumps to value if false. If it's not true, it's got to be false, which means if it's not too expensive, it's got to be price okay, close bracket. Because it's less than 50. Let me see if that works. It should say price okay in here because it's not greater than 50. Yeah, it does. Let me show you that again. Equals if, open bracket, click on the cell you want to test, this one. Is it greater than 50? I'm finished with my condition now. I can put in the comma and you'll see the bold going from the logical test to the value if true. Excel's telling me what it's looking for. If the value is true, if it's greater than 50, it's too expensive. Close quotes. It's in quotes because I'm outputting text. I'm finished with my value if true. Put a comma in. It jumps to what's the false value, what's the value if false. In quotes, it's price okay. And close my bracket, enter. Right, now type a few of these in to get into the feeling of creating if statements. Here is that if statement that I typed in, testing the value in cell B5 up here. If it's greater than 50, too expensive for price okay. I can now just go to autofill and take this down. And once we get to over 50 to 60, it then becomes too expensive because it's greater than 50. So it doesn't jump over the true part and go to the false. It is greater than 50. So it uses the true section, which is too expensive. So the 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100 are too expensive. Yeah. Let me move on and give you another example of this. In this example, I was saying greater than 50. Yeah. But what happens if it is 50? If the value is bang on 50? So I would like to use what we call greater than or equal to. Yeah. And I'm going to use 100 here as the stop off point. Will I sort this? Yeah, let me sort this a wee second. Largest to smallest. Yep. And let me strip the formatting from this. Bear with me just to deconstruct what I was working on earlier. It's clear. There it is. Formats. So in here, the if statement is going to be slightly different. I'm going to be checking the value in C7. Let me put some borders in here. All borders and thick outside, usual. So I'm going to use the break-off point as 100 here. So I'm going to say if it's greater than or equal to 100, it's too expensive. Otherwise, the price is okay. So these top four should say too expensive, and the bottom two should say price okay. Now remember, in this one, I was checking greater than 50. So I had to get to 60 before, yeah. I want to test for the actual number 50 as well. So if it's greater than or equal to 50, so everything from 49 downwards and from 50 upwards, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's why I'm using this. Yeah, I wonder what this was saying here. I've left an old note that I don't need. So this time, equals if, open bracket, same as usual. Logical test is if this cell here is greater than or equal to 100. That's my logical test done. So I'll put the comma in. It's now what happens if that's true? Well, again, if it's true, too expensive, I'll stick with that for the time being. Yep, close quotes. That's me finished with my value if true. Now value if false, when I put the comma in, you'll see it jumping to that. And I can put in price okay. Now if I take this down, two bottom ones are okay. This 100 is too expensive because I've said greater than or equal to 100. Yeah, I mean, if it was 99, it should go back to okay. But the minute I go on 100. But if I had only put in greater than 100, watch. If I take out the equal sign, it wouldn't have caught the 100. Yeah, now if I take that down, now the 100's price okay, because I'm just saying greater than 100. So greater than or equal to will catch the 100 in that case. Yep. Right. I don't know if you noticed when I first came into this sheet, the two expensives were in red and the price okays were in green. Now I've zoomed in to show you this. It's a thing called conditional formatting. I'm looking at the easiest way for me to differentiate between these two using as little amount of text, and you'll understand what I mean by that in a minute. I'm going to use the word to define these four, and I'm going to use the word okay to define these two. Watch and I'll show you. I'm going to apply conditional format to these cells. So I've only highlighted these cells and I've not highlighted the heading, just the if statements. Up here, underneath styles, conditional formatting. And I'm going to say highlight cells rules, text that contains. So I'm saying here, format cells that contain the text. Now for these ones too expensive, I'm just going to use the word to. See, they've went red already. I can make that a bit better than that. If I go in here and we can use custom format, and you can play with this to your heart's content. For the fill, I'm going to go to fill effects, and I think I'll go from center. This is for the too expensive, so I want it to be red of some sort, I think. So if I take that and choose red and then maybe yellow. Yeah, I like the look of that. Cool. So the too expensive, when it sees the word to, it's using my custom format for the word to, which is red, and I get this center there. Right, cool. I'm keeping them all applied. No, I've not deselected the red. I'm selecting all of these, and I'm now saying within these cells, highlight cells rules, text that contains, and this time I'm saying, if you see the word okay, see it's made them kind of red there when I typed that in, but I'm going to make a custom format. Now, because it's okay, I want it to be kind of green. So I'm going to go to fill effects again. I like from center, so that's why I've chose it. And this time the blue, I'll make a nice green color. And I think I'll go with yellow again, just for uniformity, for want of a better word. Okay, that, okay, that, okay, this. And now you'll see that, and these will change. I mean, if I change this price to 45, you see the price okay and it flashes green. They're good indicators if you're looking at a long list of just text, trying to read too expensive or price okay, you know. So conditional formatting, that's called. Right, let me move on. This time, rather than outputting text, I'm using an if statement to say, if the price is greater than 500, they get 10% discount. Otherwise, they get 5% discount. So the if statement's either going to put 5% or 10% in here. Yeah. So let me take this out and show you. See, when I hit the backspace key there, instead of delete by mistake, it only takes one out. Let me undo that again, highlight. Delete key takes everything away. New price, the same as the old price. I'll fix that in a minute. Right, so this time I'm saying equals if, open bracket. If this price here is greater than 500, I take it this is a customer spending money. They're going to get 10% discount. Notice I have not put quotes in there, straight 10%. I want this cell just to say 10% or 5% based on how much they spend. So if this value, the price, cell B5, is greater than 5%, is greater than 500, sorry, I'm finished with my condition, put the comma in, and I'm into the true. If it's true, it is greater than 500, that's how much they've spent, they get 10% discount. Otherwise, it's false, it's not greater than 500, so they only get 5% discount. And if I take this down and all the figures are above 500, Should have 10% discount. Yeah. Right. What I'm not going to do, I'm going to leave you to work this out. I'm going to show you how to calculate with percentages, and I'm going to leave you with a little puzzle, which is a new price. I want you to take 5% off that price, and the new price goes in here. So in the new price, there's going to be a formula that takes 5% off of this. Now let me show you this first. Let me just make that 100 to make it easier. Zoom in a bit. Right. If I wanted to know what 15% of 100 was, I can do this. Equals the 100 multiplied by 15%, shift in the number 5 key, put the percent sign in, and it will tell me it's 15. So if I want to know what a percentage of something is, just multiply it by that percentage. Yeah. If I wanted to know what 17% of 1, 2, 3, 4 was, equals 1, 2, 3, 4 multiplied by 17%, £209.78. I didn't know that, but that's the answer. So if you want to know a percentage of something in Excel, multiply it by the percentage. Just multiply the figure by the percent and it will give you a percentage of that figure. So with that in mind, I would like you guys to work out the new price. So you're going to work out what 5% of that is and take it away from the original price. And the new price goes in here. Yeah. Right. And last but not least, like I mentioned earlier, on the CD collection spreadsheet, you have a track at the right-hand side, a column at the right-hand side called price per track. I want you to look at your price per tracks and look at a figure that's somewhere in the middle and put another column in called comment. And I want you to put in an if statement that's going to work out if your price per track is too expensive or the price okay. Now, in this, I chose 50 as the cutoff for this table here. You look at your price per tracks, your PPT column in your CD collection spreadsheet, and pick something round about the middle and use that figure as your cutoff point. Also, once you've got your comments in price okay or too expensive on your price per track, I want you to conditionally format them. You choose the colours, but I want the price okays to be one colour and too expensive to be another colour. So when you're finished, you're going to have this spreadsheet with 1, 2, 3 small sheets in it. Call it if example. Save it into the exercise Dropbox on the My City page for this class. Then you're going to drop your CD collection spreadsheet again with the if statement on it and the conditional formatting on the comments, price okay and too expensive, and that will be CD collection 3. That's your mission. I shall speak to you tomorrow's class because I'm doing this. It's now 7:30 at night. Bye.